Butcher Boy here, 6969 Bendover Drive in the good old shop. Beautiful night tonight. Rockin' in Cali. So 2011 through 2013 Chevy Silverado 1525s. We are going to show you two-wheel, four-wheel drive how to replace the A-arms, the upper A-arms for the upper ball joint replacement, because you cannot remove the ball joint, you have to replace the entire A-arm. Okay, so I actually have a lift on my truck that I just installed not too long ago, so I'm going to put on some aftermarket upper A-arms with interchangeable ball joints so I don't have to go through this again. They're also designed a little different, so it flexes my suspension back properly where it should have been before the lift was installed. All right. Got a 2011 Chevy 1500 Silverado. I'm going to show you right now how you will have it apart just like this. So you can get your upper A-arm out. As you see, this one's already removed. It's on the ground right there. Okay. We'll come back over here. And to make it cut and dry, you got your tire off, pretty simple. You will need 15 millimeters, 17, 18, 19, 21 millimeter wrench. And that's just about it. All right. Start with the tire off. Come in here. And you remove your two caliper bolts. Upper, lower, boom, get them out your way. You go ahead and back out your caliper, get it out your way. Man, it's pretty simple. Okay. So get your caliper out of the way, get your pads out the way. And take a look at your pads, of course, when you get these out. Alright, and then I got my handful of grease. Go ahead and you will also need a 10 millimeter, and you're going to want to remove your bracket that holds your ABS sensor. Get this out your way. Brake caliper bracket, 10 millimeter right here. Get that one out of the way. Break that line free. You should be able to let your caliper hang like the other side. Of course. Clip real quick. Okay, sorry about that. That puppy loose. There we go. Alright. Caliper. ABS line loose. Okay, you're gonna want to take your lower strut bolts loose here. And you're gonna want to pop these puppies out. And that should be 14 millimeter for you. Or if you got a lift kit like me, that's gonna be a 9/16. Your lower A-arm. The reason why you're gonna do this, because you're gonna need to move your strut back some to go ahead and get the upper control arm bolts out right there behind the spring to slide all the way out to remove your A-arm. Okay. Alright, so as you see that we got those loose. Alright. Those are off. You know, basically your next step, your caliper's out your way, you got those loose. And you want to make sure that you got some way to pry your upper A-arm ball joint loose of your spindle. Okay. Having a set of pickle forks like those over there, which is, this is the third one right here. It's made for separating ball joints. Okay. My next step is take my 21 millimeter wrench and air ratchet and bust all that loose. You have your camming shims right here on the inside and outside, both sides. I'd advise you to take the time see that black pin, because I painted it. You can see it sticking through the cam plate, and I marked it with a black permanent pin. All four of them on this side, all four on the other side. Make sure that you mark your alignment. Once your alignment in alignment, you can double check it later on down the line with levels and beams. If you have the accessibility to them or own them, or if you gotta take it to an alignment rack, but you're gonna wanna have it aligned when you're done doing this. Bottom line is I marked all four of those pins before I broke loose the bolts, okay? So I can put them right back where they belong. There's one on each side of the bolts on both sides of the upper A-arms. Factory A-arm right there in the truck, ready to go. We got lower bolts loose. We got to take the 19 millimeter and get this one loose off of the lower ball joint, or the upper ball joint, to the spindle. Okay. There we go. Lower bolts off the, you know, all the wires, ABS disconnected. Pickle fork time. Pickle forks are designed to sit in here. So it clears the boot. See that? Stick that pickle right in there. Wham! Right. There she goes. Pretty simple. we got the spindle down, and you are good to go. Okay. So if you see, I got all that out the way. I'm just gonna take my pickle fork so I can go ahead and pop this. You gotta be careful. This is where you're gonna get a little. I'm gonna run a little bit, get those bolts to fall down. See that? It pops back. Bam. Good to go though. So I got that out the way. Okay, see? So I can move that, move this up and down, push that thing. Okay. So now we're gonna pop off our nut on this side. I'm gonna dump. See that? Put that over there so we know it goes to that side. Okay. Should be able to pretty much come right out by hand. Okay. There she is. Set her down over there. Right bolts out. Pop nut. Cam plate. This is also the way you can knock out your plates, man. Factory. On these cams, there's a metal slot in here that you gotta knock out. It allows it to travel farther. I don't know why the factory does that, but they charge you more just to pull them bolts out like I just did. Pop the metal piece out, and then they pop that back in so they can do a full adjustment on it. You can do it yourself, pretty much. Take it back, get it in line. Save yourself 180 bucks. Okay. Now we're gonna separate this over here. See, we should be able to do this just like this. Push it all the way back, because I already know from pulling the other side that we're gonna have to get it as far back as possible back there to go ahead and pull this strap on. Stupid cam bolt. Greased. There we go. Kind of hard to sit here and video it and show you guys and do it holding my phone. I need to get, it's like my 4th video for you guys. I need to get a GoPro for my head. Anyways, we got that one out, so pretty much go back to this angle and you guys just pull forward and that puppy's out, dude. Okay, so we'll go ahead and set that one right there, and now we are fully disassembled. Okay, go ahead and yank this glove off. All right. So now that I showed you the process of the entire walkthrough, got both front end parts totally apart. I believe this is my KPS, okay? Upper control arms. I really don't need to read the instructions. It's pretty simple. You got your sleeves. zerk fittings, your new upper ball joint nut with cotter pin, and your sleeves for your brand new polyurethane bushings that are interchangeable now. And the KPS has a different bend to it. Okay, so it makes up for a 4-inch to 7-inch lift in the front end, so it gives back to travel, full travel. And by what I mean is it's the downward travel that it gives back to the truck. Once you max out the front end, it takes away all downward travel. KPS will give you a little advertisement. There you go. Your top C clamp pin to hold in your upper ball joint that's interchangeable now. Very good setup. You know, this set was $267.99 off of Amazon. And by the time you're done buying one of 4 grades, your new upper A-arms, that right there is your heavy duty grade straight from GM AC Delco. Heavy duty grade, like I said. Then you have a heavy grade, and you have a mid grade, and then you have a low grade. You can go on to Amazon and buy those A-arms all day long for like $30 a piece, low grade. And those ball joints and bushings are going to wear on in you in about 8,000 to 10,000 miles if you're lucky to get it that long. After long research, don't even waste your time on a truck putting in anything under heavy duty. Factory calls for heavy duty, and you put it in there. So brand new set of those arms, heavy duty, you're looking at $117.99 at Rock Auto per arm. So now you're up to $240, and I spent $267 on brand new modified arms to where I can interchange a ball joint for $12.99 now. So, make a long story short, yep, this does appear to be the other side. So, we'll go to the passenger side. Once again, here's passenger side. There you go. That's the side this goes on. She goes right in there like that. And I should have both of these put back together. Approximately 10 minutes per side with greasing. And if that's the case, I'll be back on in 30 more minutes reposting the part 2 final product if I'm put together. Okay, so bottom line right there is your thread point for your brake caliper and ABS line. Number 1 entry into the wheel. Okay, and if you look at it, you can see how completely different they bend. You got a bend right here that starts, and there's no bend whatsoever here. It's consistent wishbone. No bend over here whatsoever. And you got a dramatic bend drop right here that pushes down. Makes up for the 4 to 7 inch lift. Once again, after you spend the money for heavy duty arms, put them back in your truck. What a waste if you got a lift on your truck. Even for that fact, if you don't have a lift, you can get those arms through Rancho, through Rough Country, through FabTech, through a bunch of people. I used to run FabTech on a few of my other old Chevy trucks, and I'm not too happy with their products, so broke a couple of their A-arms. Pretty weak. But I'm going to check out these and post the second video when I'm done putting back together. I'll let you guys see how it went back together. Like I said, shouldn't take me no longer than 20, maybe 30 minutes. Pretty simple. Snap her back together, retorque everything, and be ready to put on the front tires. Your benefits to having that arm to end the video, right, are this. Why spend $240 on the stock arm to the right for 2 of them, and you have to replace the entire arm again? Granted, when you replace that entire arm, you get the bushings too. But those arms lasted me approximately 65,000 miles before that upper ball joint went out. Just put the lift kit on my truck. not even 100 miles ago, and found out that the ball joint was bad when I went to align it. So after looking into arms, I figured benefiting the fact that you can get that specific C-clamp removal ball joint and pay $12.99 for that ball joint from here forward, I can replace those bushings in this new A-arm for $6.99 for all 4 bushings for one A-arm. Okay, $13.98 for the set of all 4 for both sides. I would rather spend $14 plus $13 plus $13, which quite frankly equals $40, rebuilding my upper front bushings and ball joints. My next time around, even if it is 8,000 to 10,000 miles, because I don't know how long this ball joint's going to last, but I know them polyurethane bushings are going to last a lot longer than those junk bushings, okay? So the fact is that now I'll be changing it for $12.99. Popping out a ball joint, popping it away from spindle, putting in a new one, putting it back together, leaving everything alone to where it doesn't even affect your alignment. It just stops vibrating. A lot better than spending $240 again in 8,000 to 10,000 miles. That was my wife and I's answer to that one. And I believe that it was a good choice. Butcher Boy's out. I'm getting a little tired. I've been working on all the stereo equipment in this truck. I got to make my 3rd video. Almost got that done. Boy, this baby's banging. But I had to drop my time real quick, quit doing the inside luxury parts and start doing the outside fabricating parts that got to make my truck last. So 30 minutes from now, I'm going to post my 2nd video. I'll be done with the front A-arms. Then I'm going to show you guys how to replace a front ABS sensor, plug and switch. Then I'm going to show you guys how to replace the engine motor mount, because that's why the cherry picker's sitting here. Got a lot to do tonight. Got a lot of videos to post. Love y'all. Please like. Please like. Please like. Please like. Have a good one, man. Butcher Boy's out.